Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, we're going to be putting some buckshot together using the Claybuster CB1138-12 wad. If you don't know what that is, here it is right here. It is a clone of the Winchester WAA-12R, and it's a pretty good wad for buckshot. The whole goal of this is to put together every size of buckshot I have that this wad will fit without having to remove the pedals. And then we'll pattern test them in a sort of part 2 to this, the range segment, and we'll see just how good this wad is. We plan on using the H&R partner pump with no special chokes whatsoever. We're just going to be using flush mount Carlsons. For the larger pellets, like the 35 cal, we'll use probably a modified or maybe a full improved modified, maybe. And for the smaller pellets, namely 34 cal and smaller, 33 cal and smaller, excuse me, we'll be using a regular extra full turkey choke of a 680 diameter, again a Carlson's. You guys have seen us test out wads before, and this time it's no different. We're just making a video of us actually, well me, putting these together. Typically what we do whenever we test wads with buckshot, we'll start with the biggest pellet that will fit in that wad that I have available to me and work our way down to the smallest, being number 4 buck 24 caliber, and then pattern test them at the range to see what's good and what's not. We sometimes, well, usually use different powders depending on stack height. This time we're sticking to one powder, that being this stuff right here, and a universal charge of 27. 27 because it's a good medium to medium low spot for these payload weights. Nothing will be over 1 5/8 with buffer. Most of them will be lighter than 1.5 ounces. The hulls we're using are all tapered hulls. You can use any tapered hull you have access to. However, this being our favorite, we are using original Winchester compression form AA's, not the newer AA HS. These are a one-piece hull, just like the Remington STS's and Nitro Golds are. Gun clubs, American Clay and Fields, game loads, all from Remington. Yeah, those are all one-piece hulls, and so are these. I have the red one and the silver one. You guys that load the AA HS, you might have used or seen the gray AA HS. This is it, but the old school compression form version of it, this is silver, not gray. And these actually are cooler to me. They look nicer than the new gray ones do. I really don't like the new gray AA HS. It's just an ugly hull to me. So overall, we have 9 different buckshot sizes we're going to work with. And I have 4 of the red AA's and 4 of the silver. For the outlier, probably the number 4 buck, we're going to use the Nitro 27 hull, the Nitro Gold, whatever you want to call it. We'll use that to make it sort of even. I'm OCD. All of these will be getting BSB buffer, and because this wad is relatively short, it does have a standard length shot cup, but the piston section is kind of short, making the wad kind of short. We will be using a Mylar wrap to better protect the pellets that will be sticking up above the wad, which is going to be a thing with every assembly I'll be doing here. So Mylar wrap is the way to go, in my opinion, with wads like this. Mylar wrap and buffer, I should say. But without further ado, let's get into it. First size is 35 cal. Forgot to mention, these are all primed with Shadat CX2000s. You could also use a Winchester 209 if you don't have those, but I'd imagine most of you guys do have the CX2000s. Anyway, first size is 35 cal, essentially triple-aught buck. These are spear round balls, obviously meant for cap and ball revolvers, or any gun with the appropriate bore size for these. But we should be able to get 8 pellets at least. I don't typically just get on camera and start loading stuff willy-nilly. What I do is figure out a payload weight and use a powder charge that's appropriate for that. 27 of long shot back there will be an appropriate charge for anything in 2 3/4 inch up to 1 5/8. But 8 pellets should fit just fine. We're about to see though. So let's get this over here. We'll start off with the silver ones because I want my bigger pellets in the silver hulls. No particular reason. But here we go. Lid was in the way. 27. We need the CB1138 wad. A Mylar wrap will not fit in this one. The pellets are the biggest size you can fit in this wad by 2s. Give that some compression. No powder rattle, we're good to go. And once again, we should be able to fit 8 pellets. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure enough, 8 pellets, almost right to the bottom of the crimp. Now, we need some buffer. I am using BSB buffer here. And the reason I say no Mylar wrap, we can't fit a Mylar wrap in here because you can feel the sides of the plastic, the hull, and the pellets are ever so slightly wanting to bulge it out, but they aren't just yet. A Mylar wrap in there, you would have a bulging hull, which is what you don't want. I had just enough buffer to cover the top row of pellets about half to 3/4 of the way. That's really all you need. Should be about a scoop and a half of a Lee 2.2 cc dipper. There it is. I have a vibrating massager to help me settle the buffer a little bit faster, and it does need a little bit more. And this should get it right here. I love this thing. It's donated by a local viewer we have. And after that, ready for a paper thin overshot card to help the buffer stay sealed in, and then we can crimp this. One more thing, I do have a habit of stumbling over words and mispronouncing things, so if I do that, I'm not going to edit out of this video. See, I did it right there. Edit that out of this video. Just going to leave it in because I really don't feel like editing a bunch of, you guys know. Anyway, that was a Tyvek overshot card that was sent by Gary Caskey. I believe they were just cut up envelopes, but it is Tyvek and it will work. Front station of the Lee Loadall is the 8-point crimp. Pre-crimp is formed. Over here I have a Geiper Bacitor. Never used it on a tapered hull. We'll see how that works out. Worked out pretty dang well. Final crimp that. We're ready to go with this one. Excellent crimp. Nice and deep set, no taper because the Lee Loadall can't really do tapers. Although with these compression formed hulls, it can if you try hard enough. Actually, let's do that. Pull it down all the way. And actually, yeah, we do have a taper on it. You guys can clearly see that. Anyway, there is 8 pellets of 35 cal in a 2 3/4 inch compression formed hull with the CB1138 wad. Next is 34 cal double-aught plus. And as you can see, I have these powder coated red, and these were sent to us by Wade Rush. So Wade, if you're watching, big thanks. We really like this size. I don't have a mold for it, but here we go once again. 27 CB1138. Get that in there. Add a little bit of compression. We might be able to get 10, although I'm gonna guess it's still only 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 is all that's gonna fit. Just a little bit too big to go for 10. But again, no Mylar wrap. Those pellets do fit kind of tight in the wad. Not quite as tight as the 35 cal, obviously, but still too big for a Mylar wrap. Once again, BSB buffer. There is 1 level scoop. See how much this actually takes. And let's see, here is half. So there's 1 1/2 right there. And vibrate that in. And it looks like we do need just a little bit more, maybe 1 5/8 scoops, if you guys can eyeball that. I can if I try. But let's get that done up. 1 more Tyvek overshot card, or overshot square, I don't know. But let's get one of those in there and crimp that one. Hey Gary, if you're watching this, I do actually use these and I do like them. I just don't talk about it much on camera. That was pretty funny to see. Another 8-point crimp. We'll try with the Vacitor again, just to see, because why not? I already have it out here, and yep, done its job really well once again. Final crimp it. Try to get some taper on that one. Yeah, Once again, we do have a little bit of a taper on it, and a really nice crimp. Working out pretty well. There's 8 pellets of 34 cal, and I am marking these off camera, by the way. But yeah, let's move on to 33 cal now. Okay, so this next one is 10 pellets of 33 cal, which is double-aught buck. It is the true size of double-aught buck, although some manufacturers will use 32 cal, 31 cal, and even sometimes 30 cal. Actually, even sometimes they'll use 28 cal. S&B has done that before. Anyway, 27, CB1138. Get in there. There we go. Now this one gets a Mylar wrap because 33 cal will allow for a Mylar wrap. Actually guys, starting with 33 cal, every size down is going to get a Mylar wrap. We are using the My Thin Mylar wrap. There it is, you can see it. Yeah, not the My Thin, the My Slim Mylar, which is for small bores, but it also does work in 12 gauge wads. And I'm having trouble getting that one in there. See what I was talking about with my weird speech thing? Stumble over words all the time. There we go, Mylar wrap. 10 pellets of 33 cal. These do stack by 2s, not 3s. And 2 more. There we go. 10 pellets. I'll try to show you. It's probably going to spill out. Anyway, ready for a buffer. We'll just go with 2 scoops even this time. See if that's too much. I would imagine so. Alright, there's 2 even scoops. It's going to overspill. Yep, knew it. Alright. And I lost some buffer. That's okay. Alrighty. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, 1 5/8, maybe 1 3/4 of a Lee 2.2 cc dipper is all you need. Definitely not 2 scoops. One more Tyvek overshot square. And pre-crimp Rabasator. That Rabasator is working really, really well. I didn't know if it'd work on tapered hulls or not, but it does. I don't see why it wouldn't. And all the pressure I can give it for a taper. And sure enough, tapered once again. So we're up with the final silver hull. This time we have 32 cal, which is technically single-aught buck. There are 2 sizes of single-aught, 31 and 32 cal. This is 32. Again, a lot of manufacturers do use 32 cal as their double-aught though. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. Oh, buffer jar's in the way. 27, CB1138. A little bit of compression. A Mylar wrap. Again, my slim Mylar. Just roll it up. Set it down in your wad. If you can. I missed that one completely. It went behind the wad. That happens. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, this one fits 10 too. With the 31 cal, you should be able to start stacking those by 3s in this wad. So we'll get some of our buffer in it, 1 level scoop, and then we'll try for 5/8 here. A little bit less. There. That looks like it's 5/8. And we don't have any overspill. I say that as some overspilled. Spoke too soon. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. But that was the proper amount. Now, where are they? Another overshot square. Overshot squares. That's what they are. But stuff that in there. Cat just snuck up on me. Pre-crimp. Rabasator. Still doing a wonderful job there. And another excellent crimp on it. A little bit wonky, but still nice and deep set. Looks great. No bulging anywhere. And This one's like a 3-time fired, so it's kind of dark. Hard to see the taper on that one, but it is there. Let's move on. Okay guys, next up is 31 cal, and we're starting with the red hulls now. Again, compression formed original Winchester AA's. This one, I know I said that the rest of these will be getting a Mylar wrap, but we're going to try to fit 12 in here, and if they're in there 3x3s loosely, then we'll take them back out. We will put a Mylar wrap in it, but I'm willing to bet these stacked by 3s will not fit a Mylar wrap. We're about to see though. I haven't used the CB1138 in so long, I have kind of forgot what fits and what doesn't. But anyway, 27, CB1138, get in there. Give that some compression. Now let's try to stack these by 3s and see if there's any room for a Mylar wrap. I know these stack by 3s, I've done that before. Yeah, they stack by 3s, but it is a little bit tight. So no Mylar in this one. And it looks like that one's going to fit 12. Now, we need some buffer. Okay, so we have our buffer in place, overshot square. Let's give that a crimp. I have noticed that generally with shells that have pellets stacked by 3s, they do tend to crimp better than those stacked by 2s. I guess that would kind of make sense. You do have a more flat surface on top under the crimp. Rebasator worked once again. I think you guys know what I was talking about there. 3 pellets under the crimp is more support than 2. That one looks amazing, like they all do. Besides that last one. It was kind of wonky, but still looked great. Once again, a little bit of taper on there. Not much though, but there's 12 pellets of 31 cal single hut. Alright, now moving on to my favorite size, personally, 30 cal number 1. Why is it my favorite? Because you can use it by 2s, everything 24 gauge up through even 8, 4, 6. Whatever bigger gauge than 24, they will stack evenly in those. But 24 gauge is the smallest size they will stack by 2s. Conventionally loaded, which means no shot cup, no wad. It's just a great all-around size. You can also use it in 410, obviously. Just stack them single layers. Not layers. Single file, one on top of the next. Before. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, there's our CB1138. Mylar wrap. That's 2 of them. Just get that rolled up. Mylar is basically just overhead projector sheets. They do come in varying thicknesses, but in our experience they can help with flyers, tighten up patterns. It's a really good thing to have, especially for steel shot and TSS in wads that do have thinner pedals, such as the BP 2092. It is a non-tox wad, but it does have relatively thin pedals. Mylar wraps can benefit it greatly. This one, if I remember right, will hold 15 pellets of 30 cal number 1. Obviously, they stack by 3s. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And no, it's once again just going to hold 12. But this one will need an actual overshot card as opposed to just a Tyvek overshot square. This one has a little bit low stack height. That's okay though, that's what the overshot cards are for. But for now, we just need some buffer. Get that in there. Looked like the right amount. This thing's awesome. See how fast it's settling in buffer? It's already done. The Mylar wrap came up just a little bit, and that's okay. I got it back down. Now we will grab, let's see. We'll use a 20 gauge Maxi Nitro card, tear off one section of it. About this thickness right here. That's impossible to see. But, oh man, I just spilled it. That's okay. We can rebuild it. We can rebuild it just as strong as it was. Where's my strainer? Alright, cross is averted. Now, let's top that with our overshot card and give this a crimp. If I didn't mention it, the front station is the 8 point of the reload all, and you want a crease between the 2 points right here. You want that facing you. The back station is the 6 point, and you actually want one of the points facing you, if that makes sense. But Rebasator, still working. Also, Someone asked this in a comment a few days ago, how come whenever I lift up on the press after crimping it, I blow the hulls? This is why. Some of the buffer gets squeezed out. But there you go. Another really good crimp. Alright guys, next is 29 cal number 1 buck. Another one of my favorites. It is obviously just a little bit smaller than 30 cal number 1. It fits in 16 gauge wads a little bit better. Fits in 20 gauge wads a little bit better. It's too big for 28 gauge, but it'll work fine 24. It's a great all-around size too. But 27 once again, CB1138. BPI calls this number 2.5 buck. Technically that would be 285 caliber, but 29 cal. I just call it number 1. You guys can call it whatever you want though. Where? Oh, here it is. Done lost the pellets, I thought. This one should be able to get 15. Let's try. I forgot the Mylar wrap. Where did it go? Right here. There goes the lid. Roll that up. About to drop that pellet. I don't know if you guys saw that. Right here. About dropped it. But the Mylar wrap is in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, normally I would edit stuff like that out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it looks like, yes, we can get 15 in this one. Yep, 15 pellets. Yep. Alrighty. Get these back in here. And yes, I do wash my hands after I do all this. Caught it. Didn't lose it. Alright. BSB buffer. The reason I don't feel like editing a lot is because this is a longer video, obviously. And I don't want to spend 2 hours editing a video. Alright. A little bit more. That should do it. Turn off. The button got stuck. Alright, where are they? Yep. Tyvek overshot square. I've got so much stuff sitting here, guys, I'm losing things I literally just had in my hand 5 seconds ago. Tried to roll that up like it was a Mylar wrap, but get that in there. 8-point crimp. Rebacitor. Look, very center of that, you can see some of that Tyvek stuck up above it. I wonder if that's going to poke through when I crimp this. Nope. It pulled it back in. Oh well. But once again, a really good crimp. That one's nice and shiny. Deep set, no bulging anywhere. Another good looking shell. That was 15 pellets of 29 cal. Before we get started with the 27 cal number 2 buck, I do want to mention we do have a Patreon if you guys would like to help us out. Do all this right here. Every penny we get goes right back into the channel. It helps us afford stuff like this or all this stuff you see back here. Everything. The channel is pretty much mainly supported by you guys watching this that help us out on Patreon, and of course the ad revenue. A link to our Patreon will be down in the description below, along with a link to our Rumble, Instagram, and merch store. But anyway, on with the 27 cal number 2 buck. Once again, 27, just like all the rest of them. Also, just like all the rest of them, Claybuster, CB1138. I guess I should mention you can use 36 cal if you're using a straight wall shell. It does fit, but it is kind of tight. Of course, you could just cut the petals off and, you know, use 36 cal in here too. But you guys can do whatever you want though. Need a little bit of compression on that one because it would not seat. There we go. Powder's not rattling no more. Some of these hulls, obviously this one has been fired multiple times. It is charred up. They do get kind of scratchy on the inside of the hull, all torn up and ragged. Not torn up, but very ragged. And it can make it really hard to get a wad seated down on your powder how it should be. But this time, 27 cal, number 2 buck, super buckshot. And they look like this. Yep, we're starting to get into the really small pellets now. But these should stack by, let's see, where's that last Mylar wrap? Not last, but the Mylar wrap. These should stack by 4s, if I remember right. Roll that up. Set that down in there. 1, 2, 3. If it's going to stack by 4s, it's going to be tight. No, it's not. It stacks by 4s just fine with the Mylar out. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Push that down. 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, 16 is actually in the shot cup too, so this might actually pattern really well. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Awesome, so this one can get a total of 20 pellets in it. That is not bad at all. That's a pretty good one. Alright, let's get these back in here. Try not to drop any in the floor. And get our buffer in it. I'm surprised 20 pellets actually fit in there. I know they're smaller pellets, but still. That's quite a bit. For reference, I can get 16 pellets of 27 cal in a 3-inch 28 gauge. This is 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch, and it's just 4 pellets more. Need a little bit more buffer. It looks like it'll do it. Yeah. Tyvek overshot square. I guess I should have a few of these laying out next time I do this. That way I don't have to keep reaching in the bag over and over and over. But lesson learned. There's that. Oh, the reason why I have this over here on this press is because obviously I need the front pre-crimp station on here. I could use it in the back, but I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. This is my 10 gauge press, if you didn't know. Awesome job. The Rebasator is such a cool thing to have. It makes your shells come out, new shells anyway, come out looking like factory. Obviously, you don't really need them with once fires, but it can certainly help get a good looking crimp. And all the pressure, get the taper on it, and check that out. Even though this hull has been fired upwards of probably 7 or 8 times, it still crimps excellent. That is why the original AA compression formed Winchesters are our favorite reloading hulls. They are great. Okay, and lastly, we're using a Nitro Gold or Nitro 27 hull from Remington here. 27. The data is interchangeable between those two hulls. All tapered hulls actually, but with the AAHS, Universal, Super Targets, stuff like that, you have to watch out for the separate base wad. Some wads don't want to easily go in between, not in between, but I'll think of it in just a second, into the separate tapered base wad of those hulls. This being a one piece does not have those issues, but the data itself should be interchangeable if you just watch for that. Powder is not rattling. I need another Mylar wrap. It seems I am out. 1 second. Yes, these Mylar wraps were in a little package with a rubber band around it, but the rubber band broke somehow, probably due to a box cutter sitting in there. But, yeah, these Mylar wraps are now just loose in a bucket in my drawer. That's okay. Alright, we have it in there. Now, 24 cal, number 4 buck. Should be able to get 28 pellets, I believe. 27, 28, if I remember right. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is the wrong size. This was 29 cal. I meant to grab the number 4 buck, which I have in a totally different container than this. I don't know how I grabbed this. I've been recording for about an hour at this point, kind of getting mush brain. This is what I have my number 4 buck in. Some of these are powder coated, some of them aren't, but they are all 24 caliber. Like I said, this should hold 27 or 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Give that a shake. Yep, still more. 25, 26, 27, and 28. See if those will stack evenly. Yep, looks like 28 is what this will fit. Get some buffer in there. And this one I'm actually going to tamp in because I don't want to jostle those pellets around and get them out of stack order. Okay, our buffer is in place. Tyvek overshot square. Get that stuffed in there. These things are hard to get kind of leveled out, but I guess that's as good as we're going to get. 8-point crimp. Now these hulls are actually a little bit harder to crimp than the AA's are. The AA compression form, CFs. The AA HS are also kind of hard to crimp on a reload hull. The Rabasator's not really wanting to work on these, probably because they have a lot thicker plastic. Give it one more shot. Yeah, it's not really going to work on a Nitro Gold. I wouldn't imagine it'd work on a Gun Club or a STS either. Don't know yet. But we ended up with an okay crimp. It's a little bit of an octagon shape, but it is nice and deep set. Cannot pop back open, and that is our last round. And this one doesn't really have any taper at all to speak of, but that's okay. I can hit it with a GOT BN2 if I want to, although I'll probably just leave it as is. So hopefully you guys found this video interesting. We have 9 in total to pattern. Video should be pretty fun. I am looking forward to it. I know Josh is too. We talked about this on the last range day we had out. But I guess that's going to end this one here. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Give us a like and subscribe if you want to. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. And like I was saying earlier, if you want to help us out, Patreon, merch store, all that stuff will be in the description below. But until next time, you guys take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.